Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hot Topics, the podcast, the show. This is Gloria Goldberg, the founder of the podcast Unbreakable Life with Glory, where I talk about depression, anxiety, and PTSD in a holistic way and natural way to make you always feel better. And next to me, I have my beautiful, powerful coach and co host, Kia Baker.
Hi. Well, thank you for that lovely introduction, as always. If you don't know me by now, my name is Kia Baker, and I am the creator and host of the Female Veterans Podcast, as well as Women Warrior Stories for the Veterans Channel. You can check out theveteranschannel.com to see more about that. And I am also a success coach at London Real Academy, and that is the academy run and developed by Brian Rose of the YouTube show London Real. So, how are you today, sweetie? You look beautiful.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you. Just chilling and living the present, not worry about the past. And when you live the present, you get younger because you don't believe the things that make you feel bad or things that make you angry, because those things that make you angry and mad, those things are in your body, and what produce like bad chemicals in your skin, in your body, in your face, in your stomach, and your energy feel that is not necessary, because I want to be younger, because I'm 94 years old and 95 years old. I need to live the present.
I agree with that. Um, Being in the present moment is always being in the now, right? So that's the only thing that really matters is the present moment. So when you really start to embrace that, then you begin to realize that why worry about the past and relive those emotions of awful things that happened to you. And believe
Yeah.
me, I've experienced many. But it's so liberating to give up the pain of the past, right? And then you're not worried about the future and always wondering what's next, what's next, what's next, what else do I have to do? And you don't get caught up in what's to come. So then you have so much less anxiety. And so this is actually how I overcame anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
is by really focusing on what was going on right now in the present moment. Hold on one second. My little
Yeah.
baby's here.
Yeah.
I am a little baby.
That's
Oh.
Lucas, everybody. He's not quite a baby. He is 5.
Yes, I am.
You are. Okay.
Oh.
Let me see what he needs and I'll be right back. Gloria, why don't you take a moment to educate people more on being in the present?
All right, I will do that. Okay, we've been having a little bit inconvenience today. We have technical issue. We're supposed to come a little bit early. Our guest canceled the last time because the baby is sick. Her son is sick. So for us, mother is first. And then Kia was rebooting, and the thing that was not going through. So we get together, we start talking, and we said, "Do you think we should do the show?" And I said, "Yes, I think we should do the show, and let's see what we're gonna talk about." So we decide to come and just do the show. So going back to the present, we just live once in our lifetime, and in this body, and maybe not in the spiritual, but in this body, that's the only time that you are here, you live in this world. So why we need to go back and something that we already live on, that we already went through, we that was like a moment that you have to know, and a moment that you have to live. Are you back?
Yes. But I loved what you were saying. So please continue. I'll jump in.
Okay, that I was saying that that we live once in our lifetime. And like for example, I'm 48 years. What I'm gonna waste more time thinking about what happens to me? And I can say that because I was doing that. And then when you realize that it's not necessary to be dwelling and poison your waters with the past, it's not necessary. Yes, you need that past to be better. You need that past to learn things that they teach you for you to feel better and to teach and to empower other people. So I'm 48. I don't know how many more years I have, maybe 20, 30, 40. That's all. So why I'm gonna waste it? And life is going so fast that you open your eyes, I'm gonna be 50 or and 60 and then done. And what I just leave. Miserable with anxiety, depressed? No. I'm not living that anymore in that way. And that's why it's my mission for you to be able to move on in life. What about you, Kia?
Well, I agree with you. Life does go by really quickly.
Yeah.
And for me, it's a little bit different. I felt like I was spending too much time either sad or anxious.
Yes.
I was always worried about something that happened or what was to happen. And I was missing all the amazing moments that were happening in the moment, always worried or always overthinking. I mean, I don't really get into astrology too much,
Mm-hmm.
but so they say. I'm Libra born, and that is a very intellectual sign, a lot of thinking. One can say I'm always in the clouds. I'm always thinking about things. So for me, it has been a real practice to focus on only the present moment and enjoy that. Like right now, I am enjoying your company. I am enjoying sharing this conversation with whoever is watching, and hoping that it is something that they can enjoy as well. So this is where I'm at. This is what's important, and just enjoying this time to share it with other people, right?
Yeah. And what about to feel free? I like in life we get attached to many things that make it like a little mini jails. And sometimes they're so hard to get out from there until you realize. And you be keeping all your life doing same things. And when you realize that why I'm doing this so much and not necessary, and you accept that, then you free yourself for more energy to come into your life.
Oh man, I love that you said that. That's so true. Ugh, just freeing yourself for more energy to come into your life, for more positive energy to come into your life. Because I think that we get so addicted to suffering. Hi,
Yes.
baby. I was going to
Hi,
say,
baby, my
hi,
baby
hi,
girl,
baby.
Lily.
Oh my gosh. And look at this. Oh, Judith.
Ooh,
Hi, Judith. Judith is
ah,
one of my coaches from
ah,
London
that,
Real. She
that's
was one of
awesome.
my coaches. Thank you so much for
Thank
watching.
you.
You're
Yeah.
beautiful and amazing as always. But freeing up energy for the present moment is so important, because you're wasting a lot of energy overthinking things, analyzing
Yes.
things. And when you're really in the present, you can feel, and you can
Yes.
feel the energy. You can feel the present moment. What do you think, honey?
Well, it's exactly what I'm been doing, and you need to. It's like a practice. It's not like a. It's very in the beginning. It takes a little bit of work, but you cannot be like punishing too much yourself because you don't get it yet. But if you are aware of your problems, if you're aware of your attachments, you just have to be able to recognize them. Don't be so hard on you and work on them and say, okay, you know what? I have this. I don't want to do this. And if you do it again, at least you are aware you're doing it again. For the next time, you're probably not going to do it. And that's the only way to do stuff.
Hmm.
What about
Wow.
what do you do? Like for example,
For me, I just have to center myself always, and when I find myself veering off, I just have to just really, really focus on meditation, and really, really focus on bringing myself to ground zero. That's what I need to work it on. Yeah.
yeah. It's very important. It's very important to be grounded because, you know, life is gonna go and you're gonna be worried about all the stuff that's already in the past. And I've been there. I know how it is. I was like I'm not different than anybody. It was 8 years with a problem that I have, that 8 years that was consuming my life. So I was eating my energy. I was burning my energy, not letting other good energies to come into my life. So a lot of people right now, oh, what you doing? Why you look so different? You are this because right now I'm enjoying my life. Now it's like every day I wake up. In fact, Kia, I didn't tell you. I've been journaling every day. And I'm gonna do it for 35 days because I missed 1 or 2 days. My grateful letter every day. So I every day in the morning I just do my grateful letter, and it feels wonderful because when you write it down, you see how much abundance you have in your life, and then you say, wow. And now also you can say, well, okay, I want to be better and I want to have more abundance. What I could be better so that energy comes into my life, trying to move that old energy. And that's where you make like a shift, like, oh, okay, things just start coming happening to you. People start connecting with you. People start calling you. People want to be with you. And you say, wow, what I did? And it's because you enjoying the present. Like my case, everybody around me, because I'm spreading the energy of being present, all my members of my family feel that way. And every time one comes with a complaint, I said, hey, we are in the present. Are you complaining for what happens like a 1 hour ago and keep saying and talking about it? No. What is now? Are you happy? Are you okay? Now you telling me the story? Let's not talk about it. Let's tell me what do you feel right now?
You know what? And what I was saying earlier is that it's easy to get hooked on the suffering and the
Yes.
complaining and the
Yes.
negativity. For some reason, being negative is so much more contagious. You know, I have I have this wonderful influencer on Instagram that I really like, and I read her book. It's called Captivate. And she, Vanessa Van Edwards is her name, by the way, if you want to check her out. And she wrote this book about the science of uh, interacting with people, right?
Yes.
And she studies people science in a way, and you know I love science, so
Yeah.
it was great to read her book. And she says this quote, you know, that energy is contagious. So what are you infecting people with, right? And so that is what I always think of when I go anywhere, or when I'm with people, is like, how, if my energy is going to infect them, if it's
Right.
contagious, right?
Right.
What do I want to infect them with? So when we get addicted to suffering, that's the energy that we're sharing. So if we are stuck in the past and we're always complaining about what happened before, this is the energy we're bringing into it. And let's not even get on the path of manifestation,
Mm-hmm.
because in order to manifest anything, you have to feel into the emotion of it, right? Anybody
Yes.
that follows Joe Dispenza or Greg Braden and the quantum field and all of that, they get that, right? So if you're constantly living in the past, you're reliving those past emotions. So you're attracting more of that to you, right? So and I'm not talking about false positives, right? I'm not
No.
talking about pretending to be happy, never
No.
like acknowledging that you have a bad day or a bad moment. I'm not talking about that at all.
No.
I don't
No.
stand
No.
for that because it's artifice. That's not
Right.
real.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
The real positive people, the real positive is being able to recognize negative moments and feeling down and feeling in that present moment that you're not okay, and acknowledging it, and then taking the steps to get yourself out of it so you don't get stuck in it, right? That's the key. So we, even if you're, I always say I'm like one of the most positive people there is, but that doesn't mean that I am never down. It doesn't mean that I'm never sad. I am.
Me
I
too.
do, right?
A lot of times.
But the thing is to let go of the addiction to suffering. And how do we do it? It's by giving up the attachments and outcomes and expectations. And it's easier to do that with a grateful heart, like your gratitude journal. And gratitude
Yes,
is really high vibrational, and as well as living in the present moment, right?
it is. It is. And you know more than me about attachments. We don't know. We don't. Sometimes we don't know, but we are attached to a lot of stuff
Hmm.
that make us uncomfortable, like or you need to do this to feel better, or you need to buy this to make you feel better, or you need to be with somebody to make you feel better. That's an attachment. And you okay, you do stuff because you like this stuff, and not because it's make you feel better. You have to feel better regardless all the time, without it, with and with somebody, or without a person. But so it's hard because we came from a society that they teach us, that you need to be attached. Remember that Julian said to us that when we have kids, they never let us be. We like they never let us be.
It's my life. I love them though, but it's true.
Me
It's hard
too. I love them.
to ascend when you have things that keep you grounded, and that's like children. But they're there. You
Pero
have to.
Kia, pero Kia, everybody have that pattern in a different ways. Always someone caught us in some way of our lives. So that was a lesson, and that's why, or you are or be passive, or you get aggressive, not in aggressive in a bad way, but you get like for example, I tried to escape when I was 16 years from my house. So I was like, no, I don't like this energy. I'm going. And I want to make a change. And my father find out and he said, no, come here. And he locked me down for almost a month because he knew I was going to escape anytime.
Oh my gosh, I can imagine as your parents how frightening that is. But as a child, what happens when you are in energy that is not the same frequency as your own? That's got to be hard. That I was like that. I grew up in two places, and I grew up partially in the city and partially in the country. So I'm a bit country girl and a bit city girl, right? But
Right.
in neither place was I an energetic match completely. So I always sort of felt out of place. This is why I love Sima Simone and the Black Sheep movement, right?
I love her too.
So yeah, she's great. Shout out to Sima. But
Sima, we love
we
you.
love you, girl. So hopefully she'll come back and hang with us
Yeah,
again soon.
yeah.
But yeah, for sure. It's like you might feel like you're an outcast, or you might feel like, a lone wolf or whatever, but I'm telling you, believe me, it's just an energetic difference, right? And sometimes your frequency is different than those around you, and you don't understand it. And a lot of that has to do with how we're raised, how our society, our environment that we're in, right? That we
Yeah.
get a lot of conditioning. We get a lot of, from teachers, from parents, from friends of parents, from relatives, right? We get so much conditioning that sometimes the voice in our head is not even our own, it's somebody else's, right? One of my students this week, we were talking about some blocks that she's working through to get her business concept developed. And she's amazing, she's funny, she's talented, she's like such a superstar, but she doesn't see it, but I can see it so clearly. She's
That
funny,
can happen. That can
right?
happen. Yeah, that happens to me too. I don't see it. Like yeah, like you just described something that I don't see.
Yeah, and other people can see it so clearly in you. So it turns out that she had a voice in her head, a false narrative that a nun gave her when she was in grade school, right? Of that she was always doing everything wrong. So
Oh
we had to
yeah.
like break through that block to get her to keep moving forward on her goal. because she has a false narrative. And so many of us get that negative conditioning, right? And like you
Yes.
said, like you can agree, like you don't see what other people see. I've been there so many times where I didn't see, somebody thought I would be amazing at something. My vocal coach, in fact, she thinks there's an amazing singer in there. I'm struggling to see it. I'm a work in progress. But with her coaching, because she's so incredible, I'm beginning to like, the proof is coming out little by little each week, right? So
So
I'm
let me
beginning.
ask you a
Yeah.
question. When you finish this session with her, that you keep like, okay, I'm good, or you still like, really, I'm good.
That's funny. Hi, Angeline. Love you,
Hey,
girl.
I love you, girl.
I actually, when I get done with my sessions with Emma, from The Voice of Your Mind, and if you want to check her out, she has a website. It's called thevoiceofyourmind.com. I think that's it. And she's also on Instagram as The Voice of Your Mind. So you can check out Emma. But she's a trained opera singer, right? So I trust her
Right,
and I hear her sing. So I know she knows what she's doing. And
right,
she's not the kind of person like, Emma's the sweetest person probably alive, but she's all no bullshit, right?
right.
So she's like, "What are you doing? You know you can like you know you can sing." Or she'll be like, "Oh, that was shit." So when by the time I was completely out of tune. So by the time she's done with me at a session,
Uh-huh.
I'm aware that I can sing. But at the same time, I'm still hesitant. So that's my
Of
block.
course.
I'm working through my block, but I am practicing. I practice every day, and I'm starting to get certain things. Like I didn't understand what she meant by certain terms, and I'm starting to understand it now. And my love of music has been reawakened by that. So yeah, so as you know, I'm going to get a piano, and I'm, all of these things. I used to play the piano, and so I'm going back into things that I used to love as a child, right? It's like
Right,
coming full circle.
right. So I'm gonna say something about that happens to me, and that's why the connection about a lot of stuff that happened to a lot of women. Uh, I'm come from a very Latino culture. They're strong. Man is the man is the one who talks
Yes.
in the house. So I remember my father saying to me, like, no, women is only for the kitchen, and yeah, only women for the kitchen. And also he said, like, oh, women when they pass the 30 years old, they're too old. They're too old. So that created a lot of things for my mom, because he was saying all the time, oh, 30, that women over 30 are too old for men here down from where I am. And I grew up listening to that. And then I said, no, that's not, it could be. And that's why it's like my power way to show no. And that's why sometimes I said, fuck it. You know, we are, whatever age we are beautiful. And that's why when I talk in my social media about it, it's because there are things that they told me. And not because he is a bad father or because he did does it in a wrong way. It's because that's what they teach him. And he also went for a rough upbringing, so he learned a lot of things from the street. So imagine what kind of things he can learn. And when he had me, he was pretty young, and growing up with him, I saw all the street path that he have on him, and it came into my mind for many, many, many years. So sometimes I look into my in the mirror. I'm 48, and I said, "Oh my God, I'm getting old. I'm getting old." And always like I have my father a voice. Oh, remember that women 30 years old are not longer attractive. So that is very bad for you as a grown up, as a woman, to hear that growing up
From your father.
from your
Absolutely.
father, for the one that and
Yeah.
then and then he got divorced my mother, and he went to have a girlfriend. Like, I could be his mother, her mother. So it was very like a tough for me to see that. but
Wow.
i but that also teach me to be the stronger woman that I been work, because I don't know why when I came here, I just jumped into working with a lot of men, and ever in my entire life worked with so much men in my life, and I knew how to manage in through that, environment because of that lesson of my father. So something inside of my father was teaching me that, what, I'm gonna show men, like, how women 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 were still rocking, even 60s rocking, and 70 rocking. So I still that in my head that I'm gonna rock until the day I die.
I love that. But I mean, it is really important,
Yeah,
to know that for us girls, that, we are still viable past 30 years old. It's
of
funny because I
course.
remember in my 20s starting to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm almost 30. Like
Right.
I'm getting so old. And I already felt old. And I was like, oh, I had all these thoughts. This is all the negative conditioning and the societal dramas and things to hold us down, right? To hold us back from being our best selves and just loving ourselves, right? It's
Yeah,
like how hard you would think it would be so easy to love yourself, but it's like the hardest thing. It's like the lesson of a lifetime to just really just love yourself the way you are and accept
exactly.
yourself the way you are and just rock it, like you say,
Rock it.
until the day you die, right?
Yeah.
So but now I look back on that time and I'm just like, wow,
Wow.
how sad that I wasted that energy and that time worrying about getting older, right? And then
Yes.
actually, when my marriage split up a couple of years ago, I was thinking to myself, wow, like, and this is something I have had to have heard. I think my mother, but I'm not sure. But I thought, wow, you know what? I am not in my 30s anymore. And I have two kids. And now I'm a single mom. I will probably never meet anyone ever again. I will probably have to be single for the rest of my life because, I am getting
Wow.
older. And even though I'm holding up all right, like I mean, admittedly, I don't have a lot of wrinkles. I know.
No, you
But
don't. You don't.
but 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 I'm mature and my face is mature and I am
Right.
a mature woman. So I'm very proud of that
Me
journey
too. Me
because it's a
too.
blessing to get
Yes.
here. And I have a birthday coming up that I'm super
Mm,
excited about and another year. It's a blessing. But
exactly.
I had this negative self talk just for a minute, just for like a moment, I would say
Right.
that
Right.
I had this moment where I was like, wow, am I ever gonna date again? Am I ever gonna meet anyone again? Because I have two kids and I'm a single woman and I'm not 20, right? So and then I just was like, oh well, I don't care. Whatever happens, happens. Whatever's meant to be will be, right? I'm not going to give
Exactly.
it any more energy or negative emotion because that's not what I want to manifest anyway. So, yeah. But that's what happens.
Exactly.
Like as women, you start to get older and you're not viable anymore. Why is that? Why is that?
I would say because I'm 48 and I've been 40, 41, all these ages. 40 is when you know exactly what you want. Is when we are like, come on, baby, I will eat the world.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's like it's fun. It's a lot more fun, I think, because you're past a lot of things, you pass a lot.
Immaturities, a lot of stupid maturities that we have growing up when we are 20s, 30s.
Mhm. So, but at every age group, I think there are important lessons that we learn. So no
Totally.
matter where you are in your journey, whether in your 20s or your 30s, and this one's for the ladies because I know we have a lot of men who like to follow our show, and we appreciate you and honor you as well.
Right,
But this
right.
message, just for a second, is for the ladies. It's that you are viable and important and beautiful and spectacular no matter what age you are. Okay?
Yes.
Just love yourself. Just love yourself.
It doesn't
That's it.
matter the type of body you have.
Mm-mm.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't
Mm-mm.
matter the color of your hair, the color of your eye, the color of your skin, or color of anything. And if you have wrinkles, all of us, we have wrinkles, and there's beautiful because that's the map of your life. If you don't have no wrinkles, it's because you passed the all your life now.
Hold on. Wait a minute. that may not be true.
If you have a lot of wrinkles, you've been happy for many, many years, like,
Yeah,
expression.
yeah, expression. Although sometimes if you have a lot of melanin, you don't get a lot of wrinkles. So,
Oh,
but still, it's just science. And but you do have that same maturity, and it's beautiful. So, yeah. But for the fellas, we know that aging can sometimes be difficult for you too. There's a whole lot of other issues that occur for men about aging. What do you think about
oh,
that, Gloria?
oh, yeah, you told me about it. Of course, there's a lot of things that to a man happens. And I would say when men have problems, they are not they're used to not share the problems because sometimes they feel that if they share the problems, there are like less men in their lives. So we talk about menopause, we talk about wrinkles, we talk about a little bit of the belly, we talk about problems that we have all the time. We've been talking for that forever, right? But we don't talk about them. We don't
Mm-hmm.
talk about them that also they have big problems sometimes. And even they have big problems, they are aware to talk about it, with the erections. Like there's a lot of men that they have problems in the erection area, and
Yeah.
in the private area, and they feel very bad, and they try everything, they try whatever they told them to try to be able to perform as a man. And sometimes the problems are like inside. Sometimes it's not even physical. Sometimes it's or traumas that they create on men, that sometimes they have problems with the erection. And why men are not talking about that? Men should be talking more and more about that.
I think we should invite some guys to the show to talk more about men's issues coming up. I
Yeah,
think it's
that'd be
important
cool.
because and it's important to me too because you know what? Um, so as men get older, they have a lot of the same issues that we have as women that they
Yeah,
just don't talk about it. And then some, like erectile dysfunction, like you were just
right.
talking about, and those kinds of issues. And why is it coming from inside that, or here, or here, that's affecting, their performance, and how does that impact them? Or like, remember when we had Helen Glover come on? If
Yes.
you're a fella, if you're a gentleman, you should go back on our Hot Topics page and go back through our previous episodes and find this one with Helen Glover. We'd love to have her come back too. Shout out to Helen. You are amazing.
Helen.
and she talks with men who have gone through divorce. She helps them. That's like what her whole business is about. And she helps them after a divorce is done and to like sort of get back on their feet, like mentally, emotionally, get their house together, get their wardrobe together, all of those things. But it's so much deeper than that because there's a lot that goes into it. If once you've been married for so long, and then you and your wife break up, and then you are thrust into a world where you have to do everything, for
Perform.
yourself, especially for the older generations, right? The baby boomers, before our generation, where the paradigm was so much more that the woman took care of everything. And it still is kind of like that. I think when I was married,
Hmm.
I took care of pretty much everything. So it's a big change for a guy to suddenly be single and have to take care of everything on his own. They can be
Yeah.
really lost, right?
Yes.
And then they have to,
Yes.
we don't talk about men and how they perceive themselves aging, right? Like we think about
Right.
like the gorgeous woman who was beautiful in her prime and now she's aging, and what she has to deal with, as like what I was saying about having two kids and will I ever date, whatever. That's a viable concern and from conditioning that you may have for some period in your life. Some women may struggle with that. But also, what do the guys go through,
I think
right?
the guys go through a very very painful moment because, and you know what, Kia, and this is not in the older men. I listened to I don't remember her name because I'm not good with names. She talks about erection in men, and there's a lot of men 30s and the 20s and the 40s and the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, well, all kind of ages with problems with the erection. And I would say sometimes it's probably something in the air and the water and the food and inside of you or your a lot of stuff that we don't know. But it's so weird that like before years before, like centuries before, I would say maybe in the time of my grandfather, you never hear that. And in the time of my father, you also don't hear that. Then I started hearing more about erection. The erection dysfunction was more like 20 years, 15 years ago from now.
Mhm.
There's more and more and more. And there's a lot of men frustrated because of that.
Well, I mean, Viagra brought that conversation to the forefront, right?
Yeah,
Cialis and those meds that
right.
help gentlemen out. And I mean, I know some young guys that
Yeah.
use that stuff to sort of improve themselves on the dating scene. So you
Pero,
do
pero
have
they,
to be
they,
aware.
but they do it because they just want to feel more extra or because they need it. Because those medications, those drugs, you use it because you need it, not to have
Well, you
fun. And
should use it because you need it. But I know lots of young guys that use it to just have fun and enhance their experience.
but what they doing is like they're killing their nature. They're killing their nature. That pills are bad. You use it when you really need it. Then when your best man that doesn't work anymore, then you have to go to another alternative. Yeah, but if your best man is performing like the normal way, why are you gonna put medication on the man? The man is gonna be off. You're gonna kill the nature.
Then you're going to really need it, right?
Then you're gonna really need it. And then by 40, your best friend say, you use it too much, you kill my nature. Now what?
I'm sorry, it's not funny, but it's just funny how the way you put it.
It's
Your best
true.
friend said you killed my nature. So now,
You kill my nature.
well, if we have some gentlemen that watch this episode, we love to hear your input. Put it in the comments and we'll go back through and perhaps comment back. So, well, that was an
Killing the
interesting
nature.
challenge. Killing the nature. But these are true problems. I mean, guys also have troubles when they're aging, like, maybe not feeling as attractive as they once did,
Yes,
not
yes.
feeling like such, like a stud that they once were. So, I mean, these are real things, and you don't hear about it. And I think if we approach it with the same compassion that we have for each other and with the men in our life, then it's really helpful for them too, you know?
It's a lot of stress on them because, for example, if they are going in the single life and they know they've been having this kind of problem, so in the beginning of everything, you want to express to the other person the best of you, right? So this guy don't want to disappoint a woman that is going in the first time of the rodeo, right? But also, if the guy will be more open and say, I've been having these issues and this and that, and the women stick with you, it's probably because the women is with you because of who you are. Because I know that part is very important. But what about the guys very cool? They probably get very nervous in the first date, and they don't want to feel like it's like this because they need to perform. I would say if they talk more about it, women get more aware about that, and women would be not mean because there's some women that say, "No, I went out with this guy last night. We try, and nothing happened." And probably the guy wasn't trying that night, and probably the guy it was not ready that night, and just discard another person because it was very superficial of the connection of what it is. But if you met a guy and the guy have that problem and you are aware to willing with that and helping with that and try and see how the guy it is, the guy is maybe is a diamond in a rough and you can help him to get better, why not?
I love that about you too. Your concept on dating, and you love a diamond in the rough. I know
Yes.
that. And so I know, like you always say, one of the things I love that you always say is if you don't like the way he dresses, so what?
So
They come out
what?
some new clothes. Oh, you want him to be more fit? Start working out with him. But see people for who they are and not to be so superficial, I think is that the
Yeah.
message behind that. And then again, it applies here with erectile dysfunction, apparently. So maybe you can help them through it.
You're helping it to through it, and if you really like, put it this way, if you are really very boring because you're alone, because there's a lot of women that don't like to be with anybody, and also there's a lot of women that like to be with always with someone. And let's be realistic, I'm one of those. I will never be alone. I'll always like to be with a partner. So maybe it's an attachment, I don't know, but I like that. So put it this way, I just lost my thought, Kia.
I think you were going to say
What
that
I
if
was
you
gonna,
really like a person, that you will help them through their.
yeah, if you really like that person, if you're very, very alone, you're like almost cutting your veins because you want somebody, well, sometimes God give you somebody for you to fix it. Or somebody, God give you somebody to help that person. But we are sometimes very, very tough with men. Women, they're very tough with men sometimes in the dating. And vice versa too. You know, some men are very are players too, but also there's a lot of men, there are very good men out there that are struggling. They really want to have a partner next to them. They really want to enjoy the time, but they have an issue. Is maybe it can happen once a week, or maybe can happen sometimes. So why not give the chance if you're feeling alone,
I think that's really sweet. Yeah.
right? If you really want somebody next to you for your companionship, the other thing could be solved with many other stuff.
I think you have to be open. Like
Yeah.
if you want companionship, you have to, I think, in my opinion, you I mean you don't have to
Yeah.
do anything, but like
Right,
in my
right, right,
opinion,
right.
it's if you are open to other things than maybe what society expects of you to have, or something different than what your family thinks that you should have or whatever. If you're open
Yeah.
to different kinds of people,
Yes.
and sometimes you will find someone different than you would have ever expected. It's sort of like interracial dating, for example. I have dated all kinds of people, but my longest relationships have been interracially. Now, if I haven't been open to dating all kinds of people, then I would have missed out on a lot of really special opportunities, right?
Exactly.
So I think
Exactly.
it just comes to being open and knowing like what you want and being open to that. If it doesn't come in the exact package, it's like sort of letting go of a superficiality in a way,
Yeah.
that you're open to meeting diverse groups of people and people that are sort of out of the box, and then you might find a diamond there. Yeah.
And like, what exactly when women like to have from a man? It likes to have a man that worries about you, that cares about you. They open the door for you. They just like always for you there. And they have a nice heart. They treat you well. They respect you. They give you the position that you need to be. And if the guy have a tongue and 10 fingers, we are okay.
I forgot to mention the disclaimer today, you guys.
That's the
If you are
truth.
less than 18, you should have not watched this.
No, 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 no. Go to your mom right now.
Go right now.
Right now. Close the page.
Click off immediately.
Right now. Spank you.
Okay. But if you are 18 and above, then I hope that you got some benefit from this, because Gloria is absolutely right. And
It's like,
Angeline agrees.
uh, I said to my mom is 68, and then My mom talk hear all the conversation of the other girls, and my mom said, you know what? I don't care. I just need the guy have a tongue and 10 fingers. That's all.
I mean, facts, but what? I'm not going to judge. No judgments here.
No,
No
no, no,
judgments
no.
here. And a good heart. And a
a
good
good
heart.
a good heart. My mom said. My mom, what else? I'm not. My mom said, I'm not expecting the guy jump from the cabin and do like a Tarzan thing and boom, and doing this like this all kind of movement in the bed that the bed is broke because you're so crazy and wild. My mom said, my mom already passed that. Did you break any bed when growing up young, Kia?
Of course.
Everybody break a bed.
When you're young, you do all kinds of stuff. But
Of
hey, I
course.
will say this, if it's done with respect and out of
Yeah,
love,
of
then you can be
course.
open to a lot of things if you're adventurous, right?
Exactly.
But the most important thing, especially when you're in the bedroom, I will say, is that you are respected, and
Yeah.
it's done out of love
Out
or
of love.
mutual intention, at least because some people get into some really freaky shit, right?
Yeah, that's
So
the problem.
right, and hey, if you're into like 50 Shades of Grey and all of that good stuff,
And
that's
kinky
your
stuff.
that's
Kinky
right.
stuff.
You're into kinky stuff. That's your business,
Of
right? But
course.
if you and your partner have a mutual respect and intention and love, then it's all good, right? As long as you're not abusing yourself or allowing people to abuse you,
Exactly.
um, then we have concern there, because then we have to look deeper and see what inside of us is
Yeah.
making us to do these things that are unhealthy and for ourselves and that are abusive. So it's could because sometimes there's sex abuse, and sometimes we
Yes.
we do it to ourselves by what we allow from other people.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's just a form of self abuse, another form of self harm because of low self worth. So let's make that clear. What we're talking about is like healthy, like both people are in
And the
agreement,
same page. And the same
right?
page.
And you're just into some kinky shit, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, right. So that's what I'm talking about. I mean, it's not to say that that's what I am. I'm just saying that hey, it takes all kinds to make the world go round, right? We're not excluding anyone, but definitely we are hoping that people are healthy and choosing good choices for themselves, especially sexually.
Yeah, and you need to like spice it up here and there because it gets flat.
That's right.
It gets flat with no bubbles.
I like bubbles, and champagne is my favorite. So, and
Really?
sparkling water, yes. So
Uh,
I absolutely love bubbles. It's getting hot in there, Gloria.
I don't know. I think my menopause kick in. Now I'm getting kinky.
I just never know what's going to happen on this show.
And we was about to not do the show today because we
No, we
was,
were like so close.
yeah, we was like, we are not on time. A lot of things happen, but
Everything's happening.
like Ryan Rose say, resistance. You do it, baby. You do it.
Great. That is a great example, because good
Good.
that everything happened. And although my very wonderful guest, I will hope that she will come back again
Yes,
another
yes.
day. But things happened in her life; she couldn't make it, and so we were just thinking, well, maybe I'm having so much problems over here. We didn't talk about how the West Coast is on fire,
Right.
and I'm in it. I'm in that fire, but as safely as
Wow.
possible. It's actually a lot
Yeah.
of people have lost their lives, lost their
Yeah.
property. It's it's legitimately heartbreaking. But I mean, if you can't, sometimes you have to laugh in order to not cry in a way,
Right,
and
right.
sometimes to keep your energy high, in order to be able to help other people, you have to have humor. So that being said, I've been laughing a lot this week. The I went outside yesterday, and I was coughing all evening, so I immediately regretted having to go to
Right.
the bank and deciding to go.
Right. Right.
Um, and I was like, well, you know what? The bank is actually not more important than my lung health. So it's although it's a good sign because there was a day a couple of days ago Saturday that I would not have even gone outside my house. It looked dangerous. It looked like you could die if you went outside for any period of
Wow.
time.
I saw
Too
the videos. I saw videos of Johnny showing how dark and heavy was the smoke in where your area. And I said,
hmm
oh my God. And I said to myself, one more thing for Kia to move to Florida.
I just left Florida. You know that, like 4 years ago. So, but although it is hurricane season over there in Florida, and
Yeah,
the
we know.
Gulf is about to get hit up with
Yes.
some hurricanes, so
Yes.
lots of natural acts of disaster. Oregon. So where Johnny was working is south of me. It's in Oregon where the fires are much
Okay.
worse. But
Okay.
west of me in Washington and north of me, there's fires in Washington where I live. Okay, I just live really close to Oregon,
Right.
and so we're getting all the smoke from all down the coast. It's just blowing up here and it's just all around. So where he was is actually worse. By the time Saturday came, it was even worse there. And my where I was even slightly worse than what you saw in those pictures. So it looked like so thick gray smoke outside my window that I could almost not see across the street. Everything, it looked like you could cut it with a knife. It was so thick. And I just looked out the window and I was like, nobody, like no one goes outside today. No one, but Friday had been like hazy. And I was like, oh, we're all staying inside. And my son was so mad because he loves to play with all of his friends
Right.
outside. And I was like, nope, I don't think we're going outside today. Saturday was even worse. Sunday was pretty bad too. But today it actually looks not as bad. So I think we're doing better. And I got a message from a friend of mine in LA, and she said the sky was blue in LA today. So hope fingers crossed
Oh,
that
yeah.
things are happening. And I heard, I don't watch the news a lot, but I did hear that we were getting some federal assistance for firefighters coming out to the coast. So eternally grateful to those first responders, those
Yes,
firefighters
yes,
that are
yes, yes,
coming out
yes.
here from all over the country to help
Yes.
put these fires out. There's still not enough of them, but they are doing an amazing job and they're true heroes. And so, so grateful for them.
We are America. We help each other when we
Mhm.
are having problems down here with hurricanes and disasters. People are all around our nation come and help. So we are a very strong country. So
Yeah, I mean, in other
we go
countries,
through.
you see the worst a lot of times, but you never hear the great stories, like hardly ever. You hear the really
Yeah,
good stories, the stories about people coming together and helping each other, or the peaceful protests, or the good works that are being done, the positive changes that are happening from a lot of this stuff. You don't hear about it. All you hear is about
yeah,
the bad stuff.
exactly.
But when you're here in this country and you get to see that stuff happening, it's really makes you hopeful,
Oh
and
yeah,
that's important.
yeah, we are fighters. You know that.
Yeah, big
Big
time.
time. So we have 52 minutes to go.
Yes. Wow. Well, we did it. We did it. We did our hour.
We did it.
My son has interrupted like 10 times. So I guess that's a new thing that's happening. Although his brother would be babysitting for me, except he's sick. So we are, it's not COVID. I'm sure of that, but he has a cold. So we're coming into flu and cold season.
Yeah, I know
And I
that.
just want to
Mm.
say to everyone, don't panic.
No.
Stay calm. It's
Uh-huh.
not necessarily COVID.
No.
Um, so just take your precautions, same as
That's right.
always, and be careful and stay healthy as best you can. But yeah,
Right.
he's been sick, so my oldest can't help me out. So I appreciate everyone's patience while I do my mom job, which is number one, and do this because, well, I love to. It's what I do for me. And every mom knows you have to have something for yourself, right, Gloria?
Right. Yes, you're right. And before also we go, I want to ask everybody if they can raise a prayer for tonight. My grandfather is 94, 93, and he's like and we think he's in the last days of his life. I will say that he had a fantastic life, a wonderful life until the the last day, and now we are waiting. He came back to, he was hospitalized yesterday with a lot of fever. It's no COVID. uh, and today he come back, but he's very strong because we have very good genes in our family. But his heart is bigger. Her Some of his organs are very compromised. So in any time I'm gonna hear a call from my father, and I just want to honor him today and say, Grandpa, thank you so much to be here, and I always gonna remember. I know he's still here, but eventually, you never know. So, I want to honor him while he's still here alive. I love you, Grandpa.
Oh, that's so sweet. Well, you know that the transition that he's about to go through,
Yes,
it's a big one, and but it's necessary. It's necessary,
yes,
and soon he will be energy, and so there he will be everywhere and infinite,
yeah.
right?
He said to
So
me, he said to me, Gloria, do you finish the book? I said, no, I'm still writing. He said, I wanna hear that book. I said, oh, I don't know, Grandpa, if you're gonna have time for to have that book now. I need to be start getting work to do to finally start being serious with it.
yeah, I think that's a hit for you. And you know what? One page a day,
Yeah.
1 page a day. That's what writers do. They write. And I should talk because my book has been on the back burner for a really long time. But, well, I'm in the present moment, and in the present,
Yes.
my energies are called elsewhere. So
Yes,
don't
me
be too
too.
hard on
No,
yourself.
no, no, no,
You'll get
no.
there.
I will get there. The moment will come. But yeah, I have to say that it's nature, and we have to accept nature, and we accept when things are coming our way. And he teach me a lot. And in one other episode, we talk about like dominant, like how women can dominate men, and how men can live their lives by dominated by a strong women. And that was my grandmother. My grandmother was very dominant, and he had some moments that he was not happy, but he's happy today, I think.
Well, that's wonderful. So I think that we should maybe should
Wrap
well,
it up.
well we should wrap it up, yes, because we are at 57 minutes, but
Yes.
we will have to honor him and continue to honor him and his beautiful life and his memory. So
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
Okay.
All right, my love.
All
And
right.
with that, I think we
Let's
better
move.
wrap it up.
Yeah.
57 minutes, and any minute, my 5-year old's going to burst in here
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
want me
Yeah.
to do
Yeah. Yeah.
something. It's been super patient. So I want to say to everyone, thank you so much for spending an hour of your life with us, whether you watched it live or this is the replay. We appreciate you, whether you watched them on Facebook, on our website, or on YouTube. And if you are on YouTube, make sure you hit subscribe and follow along on our journey. We pop up on YouTube from time to time, so you can find more episodes there, or you can run over to Facebook to our Hot Topics Live Facebook page, where you can find all of our episodes. And we've almost been doing this a year, so there's lots of episodes for you to go back and catch up on if you're just finding us now and you vibe with our energy, then check them all out. There might be some messages in there for you and some value that can you can have and then possibly share with others. So set your notifications. We sometimes come live unexpectedly, and we usually have really awesome guests, or sometimes it's just us and we have a chat with you. So we appreciate you so much, your time. We love you guys. And as always, if you don't know me, my name is Kia. I am the host of the Female Veterans Podcast and Women Warrior Stories for the Veterans Channel. You can check that out at theveteranschannel.com. And I am always joined by the incomparable and lovely queen of light beings.
Thank you, my dear. Well, my name is Gloria Goldberg, the founder of the podcast Unbreakable Life with Glory, where I talk about depression, anxiety, and PTSD. to make you feel better, and also the founder and the host of the bilingual show, The Gloria. This Friday is gonna be in Espanol, and we're gonna talk about La Loca de la Casa. And we're gonna talk about the mind. And who is La Loca de la Casa? Us. So we're gonna talk to my guest that she's gonna talk about La Loca de la Casa, the crazy of the house. So I can't wait to hear her story.
Wow, that sounds really exciting.
It is.
And
It
what
is.
time are you on Fridays again?
2 p.m. Eastern Time, hora in Miami. I'm gonna be there. One Friday Spanish, one Friday in English, and always remember to help us to repost, retag, and if you watch the reply, tag and put reply so we know that you are watching the reply. And thank you so much for supporting us. And the notifications, put your notification on because the show comes by surprise and and that's the good of it because we trick in your mind and see how you really follow us, you really love us.
We like to be spontaneous, you know?
Yes.
It's like not everything. This is the internet, right? This is not
Right.
like network
No,
television.
no,
We
no,
can
no,
do
no,
what
no.
we want. Okay, we
Right.
can go long if we want. We can come later if we want. But
Right.
the most important thing is that we are here to share value and share time with you and to hopefully give you some information that you either didn't have or that you already know but you vibe with, and just share positive energies
i'm gonna
actually.
I'm gonna give you a kiss, Kia.
Oh, I accept your kiss.
Kiss for
I
everybody.
accept it. One for all of you out there, because we just love to share love. That's what we're here to do.
Exactly.
That's it is the highest vibration, very high frequency. So share love when you can, and we will catch you guys tomorrow night,
Tomorrow night.
where we have another incredible guest for you. And it should be my friend Nelson. And Nelson's really cool, especially if you don't live in the United States, because he has a great podcast that I helped him get going through London Real, and it's about investing in America. So we're going to actually talk about some cool stuff tomorrow, Gloria. I think you're really going to love. And he actually doesn't live that far from you in Florida.
Really? Oh my
So
God! So
this
we can
might
do
be a
something together
Yes,
one
so this
day.
might be a really cool new connection for you. And he's really awesome. I love him. He's special forces, so he's also a veteran.
Okay.
And cool people. So I can't wait to have Nelson from Investing in America
Yay!
tomorrow at our normal time at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. So set your notifications so you don't miss it. And we'll see you soon. Okay, see you tomorrow.
Bye,
Have a
guys.
great rest of your day.
Thank you,
Bye,
thank you, thank you.
guys.
Bye bye.